you know, money for all the times that I've been in this house doing various shoots and seeing you. I've never been in this room.
Oh, stop.
I've seen it in the book, but I've never been in it. I love it so much. I can't even stand it. How much do you use this room versus other ones? Because it's just obviously the most delicious sitting room that there could possibly be.
Well, funnily enough, we use this whole house. When I first bought this house, I've owned this house for 37 years, and I fell in love with it. And when I bought it, it was a rooming house, and frankly, we couldn't afford to do everything. So this room was empty for about 5 years. And then, you know, I said, okay, I have to start working on this room, and we had gone to Italy. I was in the Villa San Michele, and there's the Michelangelo place that you have lunch, and that room is painted this color. And I thought it was the most beautiful color I'd ever seen. The table linens had all been dyed to go to match the color. And I thought, well, if I take one of these napkins, I'll have exactly the right color. Well, when the check came for lunch, it was so expensive, I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, well, I'm owed this napkin. But then I got so embarrassed that I had to go to the head waiter and ask if I could have it.
Oh, so you didn't?
I didn't steal it. He gave it to me. I like to buy things that relate. For instance, the mantle. There are 3 pieces here. This is the French apware.
Right,
and
dying over this.
This is a small version of what's in the barn.
Right.
It's all this really wonderful French apware. So I started with these brown things. These are English Wedgwood. These John had in his house in New Jersey. John's probably had these for 45 years.
And they completely...
But all the brown.
Yeah.
And then I found these Chinese export dogs that are brown and spotted. So it begins to make a collection, even though some is French, some is English,
it all
and
makes
some
sense
is Chinese.
why it is all together there.
And that's how I think it's fun to go shopping, is that when you find these things, you think, oh, I could put that with that.
Right.
And
but you never over worry about it. I can tell that you just get it.
It just happened.
It just happened. I planned that.
And I couldn't put this together in one weekend if I tried.
You have so much common sense and confidence, and that's what so many people are missing when they're tackling their rooms. They think they have to do one thing, the lamps have to match, there has to be curtains, it has to be one period, and you show them so effortlessly, but I know a lot of thought goes into it, that comfort and creativity and building it over time is really what
it's more, and it's more about balance than matching.
Design 101, right in this room. People could spend a month and learn everything. I'm not kidding you. And someone that wants to be a designer could simply come in here and you could describe everything and they would understand.
Sometimes you have a room that is absolutely the worst proportion that you could possibly have, and it's this library. The room is long and narrow. Nothing's on center. And I had the hardest time trying to figure out how to furnish this room. And I realized that one end had to have a round table, and you had to be able to walk around it. I had one wall for the sofa, and so nothing's quite symmetrical. But somehow we got the seating plan that works, and we have a television in this room that just sits on a stand, and we also have a desk in this room. We're on the phone. John can be watching the Yankees game. I can be working on my laptops, and I've also gotten very interested in buying more contemporary art to just bring the house to a new dimension. And I think you can mix things. I think it's the fun thing about mixing all periods, all time frames, and you can make old things look new and fresh by doing that. Today, this morning, before you arrived, this table arrived. I bought it 2 weeks ago at Stair Auction. I'd never seen anything like it. And I had a round table there, but I wanted this table. And you should always be open to finding something special. But I don't think a room is ever finished. This room is the one room that I changed drastically. When I first bought it, again, I had no art. I had very little to put in the room. And so I had green and white Nancy McClellan striped wallpaper in here. Over the years, we've collected more things, we bought more art, and I decided I wanted a more neutral background. I wanted to do the room over, and I went shopping, and I found this texture. I love the texture. It's like red plaster,
yes,
but then it's glazed. And
it's fun to see the juxtaposition of this rather unusual wall covering with these very traditional pieces of art.
Well, that's
this old part of the house.
I think you want to constantly be, freshening it up, and I think sometimes oh, should I change this table and, get a more modern table? And I look at them, but then I don't ever find the table that I
Right.
love more than this. So
You never force yourself. I like
No.
that. I can tell that you're constantly evolving,
Yes.
but you're not on this deadline.
No.
So if you see it, great, and
Right.
you'll do
when
that.
when you see
Right.
it, you grab it, but you don't worry about it.
And wait, look at this lamp,
I
the
know.
floor lamp. With-
That's from my collection. That's one that I designed.
I
And-
love that.
I love floor lamps in a corner for light, and I need them tall and big. This is the perfect light fixture.
Yes.
John now copies this, but the light comes down and you can dim it, so it's
Ooh,
very
that's beautiful,
shadow
the
on the
glow, right.
table. But the room at night is mostly candles. Obviously, we're in the barn. The barn really is a part of the main house because we use this all the time for entertaining. Every evening we're in this space with a few friends or a lot of friends or 120 friends. This was the garage of the property when we bought it, and it was pretty ugly, so we had to renovate it. I really wanted this to be for entertaining, so I broke up this big space to have an intimate seating group. And there's a lot of chairs, there's a lot of furniture in here, but when you have 12 or 14 people, everybody's got a place to sit down. There's some big chairs, small chairs, Moroccan ottomans that you can pull up. I also like my guests to be really comfortable. And so we have this huge French farm table behind the sofa with the bar. Everybody who comes here, I just say, help yourself. And there's everything they want from seltzer water, Diet Coke, to tequila. So I always do buffet. Again, I think it's more casual. John's a great cook. We always have a lot of food. And then they go sit at the table in the conservatory.